I am Metro.
I'm Metro too.
I'm fast.
And I'm faster.
And I'm smart.
And I'm smarter. I'm stronger.
I'm prettier.
On what planet?
Rhonda and Kane are fast, 4G LTE fast with Metro PCS, now riding on the nationwide T-Mobile network, $40 period.
All right, here we are at Valley Speedway for another weekend, getting ready for another week of racing on any weekend. Kind of to bring you up to speed on what goes on out here. After we have a race, the track will usually set for 2 or 3 days. Then we'll have to get the water truck out and probably put down, depending on the weather, how much it's rained or not, we'll put down around 15 to 20,000 gallons of water and let it set. Then we'll let it kind of soak it up, soften the ground up, and then we'll get the grater out, grade the high spots out, work on some of the holes. If we've got any dips or divots in it, we'll try to fill the holes up. And then once we get that done, we'll sheep's foot it, try to pack all the stuff, any low spots, work down any high spots. And then we'll have, as we race, if we got any bad spots in it, we got a box blade we'll take out there and kind of knock the high tops off as they race. Whenever the ground's moist, the cars will push that dirt. So that basically, whenever a car's out there, you got a 3,000-pound car going into a corner, at 70, 80 miles an hour on wet ground, it's going to push the dirt. That's where you get some of these rutted tracks and stuff whenever you've got a lot of moisture in the spring. So on this track, from where we're at right now to the top of the track, probably as we stand down here, if you go clear to the top of the track where the cars are going to be on the top, some of them will be on the bottom as they race, there's about a 8 to 10 foot difference from the bottom of the track to the top of the track, which gives you somewhere around, probably between 20 to 23 degree banking as the cars come around the track. The bottom of the track is fairly flat right against the bottom. If you've got them one wide, it's a fairly flat track. Then as you come up the track, it'll transition to a steeper climb. So at the top of the track, the cars on the top of the track will probably be about 8 to 10 feet car widths higher, 10 feet taller than the cars at the bottom of the track. So that kind of gives you some idea whenever these guys come out here and race. Where they race out on the track makes a big difference. And of course, if they're bottom of the track, they don't have the cushion of the G-force as they get up the track. They can actually use the transition of the track to help hold them on the track. So that's kind of, whenever you watch these guys, some of them will go high, some of them will go low, some of them will square the corners off. So where they're at on the track, and as the track holds moisture, they will try to find moisture. If it's wet at the bottom of the track, they'll go down to the bottom of the track trying to get a bite. And if it's wetter at the top of the track, you'll see them go to the top of the track. So that's kind of what they're doing. Some guys are looking for moisture as they're racing. So we'll kind of look around and see some more stuff out here and what we got going on today for our Power Eye show this weekend and then our points race on Saturday. So we're getting ready to go for a weekend of racing. Looks like Mother Nature is going to cooperate with us this week. All right, here we are at the pond. This is where we get the water to put in the water truck for the racetrack. On a dry day, hot day in July, for the month of July, we probably pull about 1 million gallons of water out of this thing. So there's a lot of water comes out of this. 3 or 4 years ago, we just about pumped it dry. We were just within a few weeks of pumping it dry when it started raining again and filled it back up. So again, the water is absolutely vital to any racetrack. You got to have water to water the track. You can't put any city water on it. It'd be way too expensive. So you have to have a source of water, either a creek or a pond to pull it out of. So this is where we get our water. And actually, occasionally I've seen a few people come down and wet a line and pull some fish out of it. So there's quite a few fish in this thing too. All right, here's the water truck. Here's the piece of equipment that either makes us or breaks us. This thing holds about 3,000 gallons of water. If you've got a nice day where you've had some moisture all week, you can probably get by with putting anywhere from 3 to 4 loads down. So that's about 12,000 gallons of water that you put on the track. If it's in the summertime in July when it's hot, probably you'll start watering the track either 1 day or 2 days before you race to where you can get the track to start taking the water. Whenever that track's hard and you put water on it, it just runs off like asphalt. So you actually have to get a little water, get the ground moist before it'll actually start holding the water. So on a good July day, I've put as much as 100,000 gallons of water on the track trying to get it ready. And then actually, I've even had times you put 100,000 gallons on it, and before the race is over, you've got dust again. So, it's not an exact science getting these tracks ready. There's a lot of variables that make a difference on what you have to do and how you have to do it. But, you know, you'll get out there and people will be out there saying, don't put any more water on, and other people out there saying, put more water on. And I think the track owners and the guy that prepped the track kind of know what their track needs. So we kind of do it how we see it needs it. And sometimes the drivers don't always agree with us, but, you know, we get a lot of that during the year. So this is the water truck. All right. Here we are with a piece of equipment that we use to prep the track. Some of these soft tracks, as the season goes, the track will dry out from the winter. This is what's known as a sheep's foot. We've got two sheep's foot kind of hooked together. The main sheep's foot is in front, and the barrel, if you notice they're round, those barrels are full of water. They hold, you know, probably 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of water on each one, plus the weight of the sheep's foot. And then the tractor that pulls it's got dual wheels on it. To get a little compaction while we're sheep's footing it, those wheels will actually compact the track to tighten it up. What we're looking to get is a tight track with some moisture in it is the goal. Depending on the weather, whenever you start prepping a track, it all makes a difference on how much the sun is shining, how cloudy is it, what's the humidity, is the wind blowing, did it rain overnight, how heavy was the dew. So whenever you start working these tracks, it's almost like baking a cake. You're sitting there trying to get all the ingredients just right. And then, of course, one of the problems with trying to get the track ready with Mother Nature, it's like somebody throwing a little extra milk in your cake batter, you know. So that's where you get some of these wet tracks. You try to prep them based on what the weather is, and then if Mother Nature decides to rain on you overnight, now you got too much moisture. So, and then that's when you get the rough tracks. You get a lot of moisture in it, and those cars will start pushing that dirt around and make divots in it and ruts in the corners. So it's a new experience every week. Everybody says when you have a good track, you know, make it like that next week. Well, if Mother Nature and everything's exactly next week like it was this week, we'll give you the same track, but probably not. You know, each week weather's different, wind blows different, clouds, rain, moisture, humidity. So that's what we deal with whenever we're getting these tracks ready to race every week. All right, here we are with another piece of equipment that it takes to maintain a track. This is what's known as a grater. What this does is it will actually smooth the track down, the little divots you see out there, the humps and holes. You kind of use it to take the dirt off the high spots, put it in the low spots, and keep the thing laid down to where it's as smooth as possible every week. You've got a different angle, so as you transition off the corners, you have to work the angle of the blade to where as you come down to the bottom, you have to raise the bottom of the angle and lower the top. So that's another issue whenever you're grading these tracks. There's more to it than just going out there and driving around with the grader, you know, scraping dirt. You know, you're actually having to make cuts some places and do fills in other places. So, and then that's the next problem you get into is, you know, while you're doing that, you have to get a little moisture in that dirt. If you just put dry dirt in a hole, the first thing that'll happen when them cars go out, they'll just throw that dirt right out of the hole. It won't stay in there. So you have to have some moisture on it to have to get the dirt in there with some moisture in it, and then you sheep's foot it, and then hopefully Mother Nature leaves your prep alone and lets it go for the race that night. Now here's another piece of equipment that basically whenever we're racing, sometimes during intermission, you'll see me out there with this to try to kind of, if we got some spots pushing up from the moist ground, we'll try to shave the tops off of them and let the track lay down a little bit. This gives us the ability, we can kind of with that box blade grab some dirt. If we got a bad spot, pull it to where we need it and put it in a hole to keep them holes. You chase those holes constantly. So again, the box blade kind of helps you grab a little dirt and take it where you need it. The grater just basically rolls the dirt from one side of the blade to the other. So you can't really move it much with the grater, but the box blade kind of gives us the ability to grab some dirt and move it where we need it when we need it. So between all of them, it takes a little bit of everything to make it perfect to where you get the track ready to go each week. This is our Valley School Bus. This is a piece of equipment here that serves several purposes. You know, I've had people complain about why you got the school bus on the track. Well, the first thing is that whenever we take an intermission, our help's been out there 2 or 3 hours. They're looking for something to eat, and some of them got to go to the bathroom. As we race, we'll kind of look for bad spots in the track, and we will actually use the school bus to roll some of those bad spots in during intermission. So whenever you see the bus out there, he's kind of looking for spots out there that maybe need to be rolled down, and that's what we're doing out there. Whenever you move up and down the track, just trying to roll it in with the school bus during intermission. All right, here we are with some more of our equipment. To my left here is a loader. Whenever we have to move some dirt and put in some of these holes, or some of this dirt where the cars come on and off the track, the dirt will get up on the walls, and actually, if you're not careful, the cars will climb them walls and get out of the track. So we use that to keep the dirt pulled down to where the cars don't get up on that wall and actually get over the top of the wall. So it's just a constant battle. Each week the cars move the dirt, and then during the week we put the dirt back where it's supposed to be. Then we've got our fire and safety truck here. This is what our fire crew's in, one of the trucks. We've got several of these trucks that we've got fire extinguishers and things in, and whenever you see a crash, you'll see one of these trucks go to the crash scene, make sure the driver's okay, to where if there's a fire, they can grab a fire extinguisher and make sure that the drivers are safe and put any fire out, and they can notify the ambulance. If we need the ambulance to come check or assist the driver, they can bring the ambulance down to where everybody's okay, and we know no one's going to get hurt or be have any issues during the race. Then we've got our tow truck here. Again, we've got about 3 tow trucks. Whenever these cars go out there, sometimes they'll break wheels off, they crash, and we'll need assistance getting back to the pits and getting loaded. So you'll see these tow trucks come out there on a lot of races after there's an accident to help clean it up and get the cars going. And if they need to be taken back to the pits, we'll get them back to the pits to where they can load them up and take them home and get them ready for the next race. All right, here we are with another piece of equipment that takes to maintain a racetrack. This is known as a man lift. It'll actually go up in the air about 65 feet. Whenever we put our billboards up and have sponsors, this is what we use to put it up with. If we need to adjust the lights or change light bulbs, this is a piece of equipment that we have to get up to those lights to where we can put new bulbs in it and do the billboards whenever we get a new sponsor or just maintenance. We had a windstorm here a while back, and we had some of them blow down. That's one of the things we've got to get back up. We got to put some billboards back up that blew down during the last storm. But this is another piece of equipment that you wouldn't think that a racetrack might need, but we use this thing a lot, adjusting lights, putting lights in, and maintaining our signage at the track. All right, here's another piece of equipment that we have several of. This is known as a pack truck and a push truck. If you notice the wide tires on it, whenever we get the track ready to go, once it's watered and kind of start getting sheep's foot and everything's done, we have to pack it down to smooth the surface down. So the wide tires are what packs it down. And if you notice, a lot of the trucks have a bumper on the front of them. This is to push the cars that have either died and won't restart, or if we're running sprint cars or midgets, those cars don't even have the capacity to start on their own. They have to be push started before they can race. So whenever you see a sprint car race or a midget race out there, the reason they're pushing them is that they don't have starters on them. They're what they call a direct drive, and once they start, they're in gear and ready to go. There's no clutch. You can't stop them. When you stop them, they'll die, unless you put them in neutral, but you don't have a clutch to restart then. So this is, again, one of the pieces of equipment that it takes to maintain the track every week to get it ready to go and race ready. All right, here we are. We're getting ready for the Power Eye Show this weekend. We got the midget cars and vintage cars and dirt demons on Friday night. Then Saturday night, we'll have our regular show with the E-Mods, B-Mods, Outlaw Streets, and Mod Lights. So we've got a solid weekend of racing this weekend. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate. You can go to valleyspeedway.com to get all the information, start times, ticket prices and stuff, or our Facebook page, either one. So catch us on Facebook, Twitter, or our website, valleyspeedway.com. We will see all of you this weekend at Valley Speedway at the races for another fun weekend on any weekend at Valley Speedway.